Welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker, and many of us are in that season where where the weather's playing tricks on us. Some days it's going to be a little too hot, some days it's going to be a little too cold, and we're not quite sure day by day. Do we want a hot tea? Do we want a cool tea? We may be coming across a tea that will serve both purposes and kind of solve that problem as we're in that nether region of weathers and temperatures. So let's go ahead and talk about this tea. This is an oolong. It's a Formosa oolong, and let's go ahead and get it started. Today we're going to try it hot because that draws out a lot more flavors. But if you do it cool, something to note is, for example, if you were to use a simple pitcher like this, you're going to use more leaf to cold brew. You can often get pour off a cup that you're going to drink and then replace that immediately, and you can do that a few times. You can still further draw out more of that tea by putting in some boiling water and drawing that out. So don't give up on your cold brew tea leaves too quickly. Okay, as we said, this is a Formosa tea. So it's kind of like it's in the style of an Oriental Beauty or a Baihao Oolong. It's a large, fluffy leaf, so a spoon just really won't do it. So we've got our gaiwan. Water's been brought to a boil and it's been cooling for about 40 seconds now as I've been talking. Best way to do this: use your hands, clean hands, of course. Grab a clump of it. Drop that in. That should really cover the bottom of you should not be able to see the very bottom, lowest level of if the bottom of your gallon was flat, you would not want to see the bottom. So that's a good amount. That was about two pinches, I guess. With enough experience, after enough time, you will learn to adjust based on your preferred taste. The strength of the tea as you like it. So this is what I'm going to use to really draw out a lot of flavor components and elements of this tea. Putting in enough water so that it swirls around the leaf, really coats it, covers it, and it still has enough water to sit up above the lid when I place it on. So let me put that back, put the kettle back on its base over there. And let's put this lid on. We've got a little bit of water overflowing the sides of the bowl here, but that is just fine. That'll hold that. As it cools, it may draw back in a little bit. So this is from Naivetea. This is their FormosaOolong. 1 ounce, I believe this is a 1 ounce can actually. 1 ounce size retails for $22 on Naivetea's website. Again, keep on the lookout for discounts, either via my future episodes page. I believe there is, don't quote me on this, go over to the future episodes page. I believe there's Jason Walker is the coupon code, discount code for this particular tea. Check that though. This tea comes from the Miaoli. Miaoli is a name of a county and city, town in Taiwan. It's in the kind of further north. So yeah, and as we noted, this tea can be very flavorful, aromatic, juicy, whether it's hot or cold. I mean, and that applies across many Formosa oolongs, or extra fancy Formosa. Sometimes it's Formosa fancy. A lot of those are along the same lines. They are attacked by an insect that triggers a defense mechanism in the plant. And that defense mechanism creates different aromatic compounds. So there's a lot of nature coming into play here. Let's talk about this dry leaf for a moment. As we said, it's a bulky leaf. It's got a good aroma. It's not the most intense. But this one is coming. It's got a nice. There's a woody sweetness to this. There is, like a cherry wood, a little bit of a dry, a little bit of a lightly freshly cut oak type of, a little bit sweet, Yeah, a little bit of pine sweetness in there as well. Pine lumber there. So it's got that rich, full sweetness coming off there. I did detect a little bit of a light, mild honey type of note coming off as well. So it's got good sweetness to it. It's got a rich, woody type note to it as well. With Oriental Beauties, you're also going to get a variety of colors. It's a nice leaf to kind of look at and enjoy, because you're getting some of that rust red on some of the leaves. You're getting some of that seal brown, which is kind of like a grayish brown. You're getting, because it has tips or needles to it, you're getting a silvery color as well. And this is such a fluffy leaf, because you will see, as this one does, you are getting leaf bud sets. So it's a leaf and a bud, two leaves and a bud together, connected. Nice colors. Here's a good example. You've got your stem, and on this, it's the very end of the branch, very tip of it. And on this, you've got a nice russet brown leaf. You've got a rust red leaf and a silver tip right there in the middle. All your colors right there together. So lots of standard, typical, and pleasant and nice looking leaves here in this FormosaOolong here. So set that aside for a moment. We're going to get ready to pour. I'm going to break the seal here. These leaves have expanded. They're quite full in our bowl here. I'm going to tilt that over, let that cool off a little bit. Get my towel ready. Get my pitcher ready. And this, again, a little bit of skill coming in here. I'm going to take my bowl here. I want to get those drops off the bottom before I quickly pour. Last few drops are the strongest, so we can make sure to get those. Set that back. Okay, already a lovely aroma coming off of that liquor. Looking forward to that. If you were to cold brew, by the way, the aroma would still be there. It may not be as intense, but it's going to get smooth. It's going to feel very smooth as well. So, of course, by cold brewing, if there is any astringency, it's going to be much milder or non-existent, depending on how much leaf you poured in. Okay, so let's give this one a smell. Nice, rounded, sweet aromas. There's something about this that just says, it says oak. It says a little bit of orange peel, a little bit of orange blossom. There's just something kind of orange peel can get almost. There's a spicy component. Orange peel I associate with some chais or some kinds of mixes like that. Some kind of potpourri type fragrances there. And there's something a bit sweeter, a little bit more floral, and that's why I mentioned that orange blossom as well. So nice, woody, spicy type of aromas, sweet aromas as well. Okay, let's pull out a few of these leaves. This time I happen to pull out a leaf that had a bud or other leaf attached to it at one point, but it's separated now. But that's still a good leaf, because you can actually see the still greenness. You see the red coming out, the rust type colors coming out on the edge of the leaf. Let's pull out. Okay, here's a leaf and bud pair there. A little bit darker, a little bit more drab in its brown drab type color in there. And let's dig around, see if we can find any. Trying to get here we are. One more. A nice two-leaf and a small delicate bud there set in the middle. So leaves here, got a little bit of resiliency, not much. Of course, these are usually a summer type harvest, or late spring and or summer harvest. That's when the leaf hoppers, the insects, come out and attack these leaves. As the weather has warmed up there. Anything else? No, lots of good, big, thick leaves. Sometimes it's fun to just play around with your leaves. So I advise you to take it, maybe get a chance to play with your leaf a little bit. Now, let's move on though and talk about our liquor. As we said, nice aromas coming off already. Again, some of that orange peel, a little bit of orange blossom, something kind of woody coming out as well. Something like a lightly toasted oak barrel. There's something kind of, there's some heat there. There's some woodiness there as well. Nice, as you see, I could make it just a quick comment about that color, and a good amber, bright color there. Okay, that looks nice. Let's go ahead and give this one a taste. By the way, slurping releases more, kind of vaporizes the liquor a little more, allows more aromatic compounds to travel through your nose and really travel and coat your mouth as well. Okay, potent yet smooth flavors and aromas coming off this. Again, it's that still that same combination, that consistent combination of a little bit of a woody oak type, charred, toasted oak type. Think about a lightly charred oak barrel. Combine that with a little bit of orange peel, a little bit of a couple of drops of orange juice, a little bit of orange blossom. So you've got a nice woody, sweet, a little bit of tangy, a little bit of kind of a spicy type orange peel note there. All of those really, really folded in together very well. You got a nice texture. It's not overly astringent, so it doesn't just instantly dry out in your mouth. It does dry out a little bit more towards the back, but at the same time, it's in balance, or it leaves enough that you feel a silken kind of texture on the mouth and the sides of your mouth as well. The tongue, and I should say, tongue and sides of the mouth. Something that happens just as you swallow, the liquor tends to curl, wrap under your tongue. If you were to let it do that, you get this kind of a very quick, kind of tangy bite to it. And the aftertaste really carries that through. It's still a little sweet. It's still a little bit of a woody type feel in the mouth. So, looking at this tea overall, there's one Oriental type beauty that I had in the past that I remember the aromas really standing out, but I can't remember if the textures really compared to this though. So I'm putting it in this really high category. This one's definitely worth checking out. If you're wondering, is the price worth it? I would say yes, it is. This one's going to get. This one's probably going to get a 92. It's great quality of good quality looking leaf. The leaves have been treated well, processed well, and the wet leaf as well. Consistent aromas coming out from wet leaf into the liquor as well. Again, a balance of texture, really no astringency, maybe a little bit in the back actually, but an extended aftertaste that really brings those aromas, that texture, and maintains it. I still feel this kind of silken, like a silk sheet has been wrapped over my tongue, on the sides of my mouth. Still there in this taste. So, highly recommended. Check it out for yourself. Naivetea has a great line of teas. We looked at a couple in the past, positive results, and we expect more from them in the future. So come back and join us for some more of those here at Walker Tea Review.